Hello and welcome to another episode of the GuildMag podcast. As always, I am Valiant and joining me today we have Casey.
Hello!
You nearly forgot. You nearly forgot.
I went to open my mouth to talk and I'm like, I'm forgetting something.
So yes, this is our second episode and today we are taking a look at the trailer for the Dragon's Reach Part 2, which is posted by ArenaNet this Tuesday. We're also going to be speculating what might come in the next patch, as well as all the usual Guild Wars 2 news and community shizzle. Remember, for those of you not watching this live...
Did you just say that?
I think I did. For those of you not watching this live, you can catch us every Thursday at 10 a.m. GMT, that's 11 a.m. BST, on twitch.tv/GuildMag, where you can share your views with us in the chat as we go along. Before we begin this episode in full, Casey's going to do a quick rundown of this week's Guild Wars 2 news.
Yeah, so the big thing that happened this week was the Living Story trailer. Yay! The Dragon's Reach Part 2. So there was really an interesting trailer. It was like a lot was given away, but at the same time, not very much was given away. So that was really interesting. And then in the gem store, there has been two major updates to the gem store. The first one was the Tyrian Explorers Pack, which is a whole bunch of goodies, trying to get people to sample the delights of the gem store. But it also had a little top hat that I don't think you can buy separately anymore. So that was really interesting. And an absolutely new skin, the Covert Char Backpack, which is like a little Ash Legion Char with little face mask and purple little tail. It was really cute. But it's a completely new skin back cover. That was the first update, and then the second I got there. That's all that matters. And then the second update was a double chance to drop Black Lion tickets from Black Lion chests, which is super exciting. And I should say tickets and scraps. And everyone's so excited about this. Like I feel very sorry for the people that decided as soon as the chance to drop the permanent hairstyle kit, they did all their keys, and now there's a chance to ticket. So I'm sure lots of money's going through buying keys this week. So that's basically what happened this week. There has been no Living Story update patch, so there's not a lot of new things going on.
Yep. So shall we kick off then with talking about the trailer?
Yes. So the new footage that came out has this ramped up feeling, like things are getting more serious, things are getting intense, and if they're going the way they think they're going, I'm really excited. Like things are going a lot faster than I thought they were. It's kind of got a very grove orientated setting, even though there is a few pictures of Top Dry, and I think you put in there that there's new areas. I didn't quite notice that it might have been a new area. And though I find interesting is that I thought that they would be very summit oriented, very politics and everything like that, but there's been almost no footage in this trailer about the summit. It's all been action, go, and if you actually look in the video of the grove, that there's pictures of pictures of the flags have pictures of each race, but there's no other races there. It's just the Pale Tree and the heroes. So that's really interesting. So raises some questions. Oh, by the way, if you haven't seen the trailer, you're probably very confused about what we're talking about. Go and check out the trailer on the Guild Wars 2 website. You can probably watch it and listen to me at the same time, get an interesting audio-visual effect going on. But so I'll just keep on going. It raises a few questions. It seems to be some evil is after the Pale Tree. And why is this evil after the Pale Tree specifically? It's a very interesting question. There's also a few shots of Timey being very scared, and it looks like Brahm's protecting her. And I just have to say, when I first saw this, I'm like, Timey's one of the heroes. Why would she be carrying? She's so powerful, and and I sat here and I'm like, Scruffy's not in that shot. Where's Scruffy? And then I realized without Scruffy, she's really weak and really vulnerable. So that's something. Instead of Scruffy, she's next to her device that she created to try and fix the waypoints. But there's just so much to talk about. I'll just keep on going. There's so much to talk about that trailer. And so if I just go quick through rundown, there was actually something on Reddit where someone did a shot by shot of each picture, and so you could dissect it. And some really interesting things was that a Mordrem appears, one of the big bad Mordrem comes out at Omid's machine. So obviously Taimi's machine, to kind of make the waypoints less attractive, didn't quite work the way she wanted to. And there's this kind of scene where the lights go out, or you can't really do lights go out because it's, but I people kind of assume that something is kind of going around causing the light to be cut out from the stained glass in the pale tree. So that is really interesting trailer. This is a brief summary that I have there. And you actually linked me the thing on Reddit about the German translation.
I did. Should we talk about it then?
Yeah, I think I've done enough explaining. Like, if you've seen I just keep on talking. We should talk about this.
Okay. So the German translation for the video, it says in the English version, it says an ancient evil is awakening in the West. We must stop it. But the German translation actually says an ancient evil is spreading in the West. We must stop her. And there's been some speculation over whether this is another mistake in the English-German translation, or if they're giving away more than they wanted to or they realised. We actually speculated last episode if the pale tree had something sinister going on with getting everyone to come to her. So it could potentially have something to do with that. I don't know what to think about it, to be honest. I did see a lot of convincing comments about, it's just, another muck-up on their side of the German translation. But at the same time, I'd like it to be more than muck-up. I'd like it to be something more sinister going on like that.
Like one of the German writers was just like, just sneaking a little bit of information to the German people. Favoritism! I think this is a really interesting concept because I should actually say that the connection is getting really bad on my side. So if I disconnect, I'm very sorry to everyone. Rowan, you're just a blob.
Oh,
yeah. Rowan did some wonderful artwork this week because the disconnections are bountiful on my side. So he did some artwork for me this week. But I think it would be really interesting her to add a feminine quality to a dragon. If it was a dragon, or it was a dragon's champion, to have a feminine quality would be something quite new, in my opinion. None of the champions spring to mind as having a feminine quality except for Glint.
Yeah.
And she was good, and she cannot be put in the same vein as all the other evil baddies. Or an ancient evil awakening in the West, we must stop it. It can't be the pale tree because she's been awakened for ages. Yeah. So, so it would be interesting if there was a feminine quality to the champion, but I think it might be just a mistranslation because those languages are so difficult with the feminine and masculine thingy-majiggies. Like technical mumbo jumbo. But yeah, I think it might be just a thing. But it would be interesting to see feminine qualities in the champions.
Yeah. Something I did want to point out actually when I first saw it, I was like, last episode when we were gathering everyone to the summit, I was like, I can't believe I didn't see this coming. Of course something's going to go wrong when you've got 5 of Tyria's leaders all in one place. Yeah. I was like, it's just a cliche RPG thing that of course someone's going to go missing, or they're going to die, or you're going to have to save them in some respect.
Yeah. We should remember last time everyone got together in Lion's Arch for the honouring the memory of the people that died against the dragon. One of them died in there and a lot of them got injured.
Yeah.
I think everyone in here should just separate, and so the dragon would just be like, this does not compute. So that's very interesting. Someone actually just mentioned Mordrem Mother, which reminds me of the Darkspawn brood mothers in Dragon Age, which scares the living daylights out of me.
Let's not talk about Dragon Age. It's like my favourite game ever.
All right. So yeah,
Okay.
so that was pretty much the patch coverage. I don't think there was anything else really. There's a lot. If you look around, so many people have done so much things on the trailers, but I think that's all there is for the next patch. Any teasers we've gotten?
Yeah. Um, there seems to basically just be kind of two major parts to the video. It's the Grove bit and then the dry top with Timey and Brahm bit. I think it's interesting that we see the Inquest kind of attacking Timey and Brahm in the video.
Mm.
The only theory I had about that is they're potentially after her waypoint device for themselves. I don't. I couldn't think of any
Yeah.
reason why they'd want to attack her, like them particularly.
It's pretty clear that something went wrong, or Mordrem is smarter than she anticipated.
Yeah. I think she's probably missing Scruffy because something happened near Omar's machine. Because I think that's where we last left her, at least next to
Mm.
her device in there. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens there.
I just have to say in the chat, someone mentioned in quotations, can we get all these tasty world leaders? I just imagine everyone up on a buffet. Oh, sorry,
Oh.
stick my microphone. Everyone up on a buffet, like, oh, would you like some Savari? Would you like some Norn?
Oh. So what do you actually think it is that's attacking them then? Because I mean, we're basically led to believe it's something coming from the sky. From that last shot, you see it basically going down onto them, and you hear basically a roar of some kind of what sounds to me at least like a dragony champion to me.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like
I-
oh, go on.
No,
No,
you
I
didn't.
was just gonna say, to me, it would kind of make sense if it was Mordremoth's first dragon champion we'd be encountering. We haven't actually seen any of his yet. And if,
Yeah.
like they say, we're having this mid-season break, to me it would seem like a good kind of finale to this segment, to this arc of it, to encounter his first champion and keep that as like a permanent world event then.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm not so sure if it'll actually happen. I think I'd like it to. I'd like to see what they could do with a new big boss like that, considering everything they've learnt from the previous ones.
That is interesting. It could be kind of what's it called? If you remember when with the Guild Wars, oh my God, I can see your face again. You're not just a big creamy blob. It's not perfect, but you know, it don't move. It gets worse. No, I think if you remember at the start of Guild Wars 1, we had that trailer where we saw Zaitan for the first time, and everyone was like, wow, and you know, having a face on a target that we want to, like, you know, the players have felt invested in killing Zaitan. I think this would be a massive step forward if they actually had more Dramoth come around. And just screw up something and, you know, and introduce us to Mordrem so it doesn't seem like this massive thing underground. But I think most likely it will be a champion and we can get a feel for what the champions look like. It could be a dragon similar to the Sylvari starting instance where you fight the tree dragon. It's probably very similar to that because that can fly. But it's very interesting. I'm so looking forward to it.
We've had a question from the chat. Do you see it coming in the form of a new world boss or a dungeon?
Wow.
Chest? That's quite interesting.
You mentioned kind of a world boss. You're saying that, but I did not think of a dungeon.
I didn't either.
I think ultimately it will culminate in a dungeon similar to Zaitan, the dungeon.
Yes. It's interesting. I think I'm not so sure. I think if like historically anything's to go by, it would be an event if it was, you know, Dragon Champion, considering all the others are.
Yeah. I think you might be right.
I don't know. It would be interesting to see it in a dungeon without all the FPS lag. You can actually, you know, do something instead of just standing there and hitting it. But yeah, it would be interesting.
Yeah. Oh, I think a dungeon might be a bit too much. But I do think a world boss. I honestly do think a world boss because everyone's got kind of a matching set. Shatterer, Claw of GuildMag, the Zaitan
Yeah.
Twaddle. Twaddle, I got there, I got there, I got there.
So I don't know what that was, but
I was like, yes, Tequaddle, and because we don't know bubbles, and so having Mordrem kind of have one would be really sounds smart. It sounds very smart. So I think that was a very good question. Actually, I like that.
Following up on that, comment was there were changes to the Grove map in the last patch. Right, would be cool to have a dungeon in a capital city.
Ooh, ooh, yes.
I don't actually know what changed in the Grove map.
I didn't see that either.
Was it just the map texture? Was it physically in game? I'm not entirely sure what changed.
I have no. You're talking to the girl that, like, after 2 weeks after Brisbane Wildlands was changed for the Gates of Maguma, I went and found it on the map. I'm like, oh my god, guys, this Tangle thing! Then I was so excited, and everyone's like, yeah, we saw that like 2 weeks ago. So maybe that just went under our noses.
So yeah, do you have anything else you'd like to bring up about the trailer?
No, I think we're good. I think we covered it pretty well.
Okay, so
to talk about it for ages.
Segueing onto that, actually, then I wanted to talk about the Mordrem creature design and actually building on the idea of new dungeons. I'll bring this into it in a minute. So I wanted to talk about this last week, but I kind of completely forgot, and we ran out of time anyway. So first of all, I generally just wanted to praise ANET on the design of these new Mordrem creatures. At the ending of the first season, when there were kind of hints of Mordremoth was stirring and all that kind of thing, I was kind of worried of how they'd distinguish between Mordremoth's minions, which we hadn't seen, and the current like Nightmare Court stuff, which is already like a corrupted plant kind of type of minion, and how they'd make them feel unique. But actually looking at them now, I think they've done a pretty good job of distinguishing between the Mordrem and the Nightmare Court things. And I think what's great is they actually have some really interesting, unique mechanics to them as well. They're not just, reskinned creatures or whatever.
Yes.
I think it's the thrashers that have the things that force you to move when they do the vines and all. So, yeah, I just...
Can I just say?
Yeah.
I did the Concordia story instance to get all the achievements with my husband the other day. It was like really like we were at each other's throat for half of it. So freaking grumpy because it was a lot of work. But the monsters make you different. They're not like fighting anything else in the game. For example, when the wolves howl, I hate it because I know they're going to get retaliation, and being a DPS freaking warrior, it just takes my health down to 0. And with the thrashers, like you said, whenever I see them, I'm like, you pop up, you're going to make this freaking long line of torment and pain and death, and I have to somehow get to the other side of you. I don't know how. And it's really like I have to think about it. Like I don't just rush in and kill stuff with the thrasher, because the thrasher's going to be over there on the other side of the map, when it does its little turning.
Woo!
I'm gonna laugh my butt off every time I see it do that now. And also, like, it makes me think, I want to kill these wolves, the Mordrem wolves, on my Mesmer, because I can get rid of their retaliation, because that drives me nuts, that retaliation.
As a Zerka Guardian, it is not fun at all. One greatsword whirl and you're out of there. It's
Yep. Yep. So yeah, I totally agree with you about the Mordrem. They just look fantastic, don't they?
Yeah.
They look scary and plant-like at the same time, and they really... I think it's hard to make plants look scary in a sense, like, especially the way they've done it. The wolves, when I saw them from a distance, I'm like, puppy, with like huge flower mane. Like, I was like, so cute, man. And then we got closer, I'm like, that's a skull. There's little viney vein things. Oh god, it's like, and the rib cage is all thorns. It's like hollow. There's no skin. It's just the rib cage.
Yeah.
You get close and you're looking and you're like, that is not nice, man. That is not nice.
I actually wanted to praise them on the sound design with them as well. when I first encountered them, I had these headphones on, which are like really high bass, and I was just like, oh, listening to this. It's just everything about them. I couldn't think of anything I'd want them to do differently with them. So building on this then, there was an interesting post on Reddit yesterday or the day before about these Mordrem enemies in a new dungeon, to kind of if they put them into a new dungeon, how would it kind of break up the meta of speed running and everyone stacking on certain points and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
And this is kind of building on what we said earlier about, could we see a dragon champion in the dungeon? And if so, I imagine these Mordrem would be, the trash mobs that you get before that, throughout the dungeon before you reach him. And I'd personally love to see a new dungeon, or at least a new dungeon path to one of the existing ones. I'm not sure which they could adapt to be like a Mordrem one. I'm guessing it'd have to be Twilight Arbor again.
That poor dungeon is getting.
But yeah, I kind of feel like nowadays any dungeon I do, I tend to speedrun it because I'm just there for the gold. I'd like to see a new dungeon path with these, because people were saying that with the types of attacks that the Mordrem have, like you said, the wolves with the retaliation, you can't just all stack on one point and DPS it down, because you're all just going to die. You have to find ways around that. And things like with the thrashers, they put the vines up where you are, which you'll take damage if you stand there. You're going to have to move and kite them around and stuff. And then there's all the AoE conditions and torment and all that sort of thing. So I think I'd love to see them do it. Kind of wanted to going a bit back onto how they tried to do TA Aether Path, was kind of an attempt to shake up the meta that's unfortunately, I'd say, widely regarded as a failure in terms of not many people run it. I actually, when it came out, really fell in love with it. Like, I loved how you couldn't, there was more to do than just stack and kill, you had to literally work as a team to progress through each one. I think it's just not done because other paths are quicker, and they just, they provide the gold that you want. So I think if they were to try and shake it up, they'd need to find a way to make it worthwhile doing, because it's obviously going to be a path that you can't speed run, and it's going to punish stacking. So in my mind, they'd need some kind of unique reward that to get it, you'd have to do this path. And as long as it's not an RNG reward that is like it's got a 2% chance to drop when you do this path, I'd be, just utilizing dungeon tokens, make a new set for this path, and then make some more sense.
I dare say the new Aether Blade path would be a lot more popular if they had used the dungeon tokens from that particular path to make the new Bramblethorn weapons. Remember, they released like the new weapons that were, I don't even know how you get them. I really have no idea.
I think they're RNG, aren't they? I'm pretty sure they're an RNG drop from that path. I can't remember.
Oh, aren't they Black Lion ticket ones?
Ooh.
I'm pretty sure they're Black Lion tickets.
Someone will tell us in chat.
Yeah. Feel free to correct us. But yeah, so then something like that would get you to do it. And I've done it with, only dungeon running guilds. I don't even do it with pugs. It's just, no. And dungeon run, if I do it with my dungeon running guild, it is still quite hard, and it is a nice challenge. So I do like it, that it is a nice challenge, but at the same time it's very long. But at the same, I keep saying at the same time, I applaud that they're making efforts to make hardcore dungeon content, because really, if you're doing AC, it is just it's just so easy. I do it in my sleep, basically. Having that hardcore dungeon, I might not do it a lot, but I appreciate that there's the hardcore stuff there that is an option.
Yeah.
Just need to focus on getting rewards right for it.
Apparently they are an RNG reward for the path.
Oh, okay.
I was right.
Ah, damn it.
So yeah, I think it'll be interesting what else they can do with Mordrem. If anything, really. I'm sure that we're going to continue to see them pop up in story missions and events and things.
Yeah, so that was, I really like that. I like where it's going. Someone said the Dream Thistle weapons are Black Line ones. Oh, so we got one for each side. Yeah, yeah. Come on, he's gonna win. Actually, you know what? We should wiki it. We're terrible. We're
Oh,
doing a Guild Wars 2 podcast and we're not even getting our information right. So let's try it. Dream Thistle. Why isn't anyone else in the chat wikiing this? Oh, Dream Thistle weapons are black lion ones.
Okay.
You need 5 tickets. So who won?
Well,
who
what
won?
are the ones I'm thinking of then? What are they
Who
called?
won? I don't know.
Moving on then.
Oh, hang on.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
no, you're right. No, we're thinking about 2 different things. Remember, there's the Dream Thistle ones, and there's ones that are named, and they have really creepy names, like
I
don't know. Yeah. No, I think yes. You're thinking about these ones, and someone else is thinking about the other ones.
Okay.
There's 2 sets, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Anyway.
Moving on then.
Moving on, Commander.
Speaking about weapons and rewards then,
Yes.
I believe you're going to segue into something else.
Yeah, it was I'm sorry, I'm a terrible segue. I rely on you. Sorry. Yeah, so actually someone in chat just said, just to put the end to this, because I'm pretty sure everyone's going to think of this, the ones that you're thinking about with the names are dropped from dungeons and are really expensive, like 1,000 gold each. But this guy's troll, so I don't know if I trust him. He's from my guild. He always gets me. Anyway, so yes, talking about expensive ass weapons, there was an article on Reddit that was on the top of Reddit for a long time, so I thought it would be really interesting to talk about it. It was actually a massively article concerning the RNG and precursors. And it's not the typical complaining, because we've all heard the typical complaining. I'm sure everyone at ArenaNet has heard about the typical complaining of the precursor and RNG, but he was just saying that his wife, for the first time, his wife and him had split from playing different MMOs. He plays Guild Wars and his wife now plays Final Fantasy. I just remember all the X's and I's and V's. 14. So okay, I get it. So he was just saying it for the first time they'd split, and this was because he was telling her about all the cool living story stuff, and she was like, "Oh yeah, it's really cool. But have they changed the precursors yet?" And that was her question, and he would go no, and she'd go back to Final Fantasy. And this is really interesting because I feel like a lot of people feel the same way. You and I were having a discussion about it, and you were saying that you can't be bothered. Doing another one.
Yeah.
And the interesting that I was telling you is for me, I never even considered this, but obviously you did it and other people did it, which was it kind of pressures people into buying precursors with real money. And that is insanely not right, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel pressured. I just thought it was out of my reach because my money doesn't compute with that, because I'm married and you got house expenses, you don't really see it that way. But I know a lot of people who don't really see it, do see it that way because they have a lot of disposable income. But it should, pressuring people into spending money. And I have a lot of faith in Arena. They're kind of the only MMO that I feel like they make the game because they love it, not because it's all about money. I mean, I imagine for the publishers and for other people it is all about money, but I think it started from a really great place. And I don't think that they intended to make the system expecting you to have to pay money for the precursors, but this is what's happening. People are spending hundreds of their dollars for precursors. So this is a big thing to me. These precursors are meant to be a status symbol about how good you are at the game, how much money and time, not money, but gold, in-game gold you've invested into it, and it's become this, who has the most money, which is mostly people who can flip and trade off the trading post because those people are amazing, man, and they make mountains of money. So this is an issue, and I'm pretty sure everyone has an opinion about it, but and we definitely know that ArenaNet is aware of the precursor issue because I think in 2012 they mentioned that they would like to have a precursor questing crafting system in 2013. I'm not quite sure about those years, but it was a long time ago.
It was a while ago.
But they said they said something about like a questing system, and that sounds cool, like investing, having to go on a quest, finding all these rare things, like the scavenger hunt for lore. That's really cool. Something that shows that you spent a lot of time and investment is what I think legendaries should represent. So some people mentioned how cool it would be to have evolving items like the back piece and the spinal blade shard back piece. That, I think I said that wrong. The black blade shard spinal back piece.
Something like
I
that.
got it right. Yeah. You got the words, everyone. Rearrange them the way they're meant to be. And you craft it like that. Like you kind of go to one place, you collect all these ingredients, you combine it in the Mystic Forge, and you have the first part of your, your weapon, and then you go and do all these other things. Like the way that the what's it called? The mysterious vine piece created was super cool idea. And I really like that idea. What do you think about that?
Yeah, for me, it has to be something where I can clearly see my own progression on it. I've been playing a bit of Final Fantasy 14 at the moment as well, and for part of it, to get like a really high level weapon, they have these things called fates, which are similar to basically our dynamic events in Guild Wars 2, and you have to constantly farm them over and over again for like an RNG drop to upgrade your weapon. It's like a 2% drop or something ridiculous.
Eesh.
So you're doing like, and you need 12 of them.
That's old school MMO.
You need 12 of these upgrades. So at a 2% drop, that's like 600 fates basically you have to do. And there's no clear progression there for me. Like I hate doing it because I can't just do like, I need to do this many more fates and I'll get my next drop. I can't do that. So for Guild Wars 2, to have precursor crafting, I'd need to have progression like, we've been suggesting, which I think if they were to do it, that's, the route they'd definitely be looking to go.
For you, then it might be really cool if they added, how there's like a checklist on the side, achievements?
Yeah.
But really cool, like quest thing almost, like showing your progress through crafting it. And I know they don't like, quest is kind of like a taboo word there because the dynamic events is meant to be there. But I mean, in small pieces, I think the quests would be really good, and having quests for precursor crafting would make it kind of like this elite cool thing that and to show progression and how far you're going. So I think that'd be a really good idea. Yeah, I think if they utilize that sidebar a little bit more, that'd be great.
I think
We've got a lot of messages all of a sudden about precursors. Yeah. It's great. It's great to hear you guys what you think about it.
So Brutal40, can't tell which one that is, says, here's the thing, you do not need a legendary. You can get an ascended weapon or two without any of the RNG involved. And that's a good point.
It is.
But at the same time, RNG shouldn't be what makes a legendary. You should...
it's just sparkles, man.
Yeah. I feel like they have... I'm okay, borderline with the RNG for getting the Mystic Clovers, but when you add RNG for the precursor on top of that, it becomes... I don't know. It just becomes a drag. And I got my first legendary 6 months ago, maybe, and I can't do another one purely because of the precursors. Like, I don't mind grinding for everything else because it's like a progression system. I've got a checklist of I need to get this many ectos, this many blah blah blah, and I can just do that. I can do dungeons for gold and whatnot. But the precursors, I'd have to do what I did again, and I felt compelled to buy my precursor with real money because I just didn't want to do the other options available to me.
It is disheartening the fact that you can spend twice as much as the precursors are worth trying to RNG it in the Mystic Forge. And I just have to say quickly, if you just want to look through what people are saying, there's just so much there. This is great. I love hearing what you guys are saying. Yes. While you're doing that, I'll just say that my husband recently came back to the game, and one of the things people say there's no end game to Guild Wars 2. There is end game. It's just really subtle.
Yeah.
It's not overt. And some people, especially casual players, sometimes need very overt reasons to come back. And a Living Story brought him back. But when we finish playing the story, the thing that keeps him playing and spending money on the gem store is the fact that he wants the legendary. And so we've got our little legendary trackers and we're doing it together and stuff like that, which is really fun, and it keeps him coming back. And as much as the Living Story is fantastic, it's nice to have a goal and that, you know, something that you log in every day for. And I think that would really help having something that's not RNG, because I think as soon as he hits that wall of all I need is a precursor, there's going to be a problem with me, you know, with him playing every day, because it's just not going to have a reason to, you know?
Oh, I forgot what I was going to say then. I had it and I started reading another comment and now it's gone.
There's a lot of comments about inflation and about the prices.
Yes. That's one, like, so when I was building my legendary, when I began, precursors were okay, a couple of 100 gold. And by the time I needed one, or by the time I thought, okay, I'll go for the precursor now, they 700 or 800 gold, I think the one I needed was.
Yeah.
So that's basically what prompted me to pay for real money in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah, I told you this before, but I had originally gone for the Bifrost, and then I saw the Bifrost precursor was so expensive. So I went, you know what, screw it, I'm going for the crate kit. So I got the crate kit, and now I was going for the Bifrost again this time around, and then I saw how much the Bifrost cost. I'm like, nah, I'm going for the Kudzu. And I brought the Leaf of Kudzu before I did anything else, because if I didn't have the Leaf of Kudzu, I wouldn't work towards it would just seem like, you know, nah, it's a far off thing, you know. It actually reminds me of a conversation I had with this person. Conversation, I say passing whisper. He had like 5 legendaries and it was quite early in the game. I'm like, wow, how did you get so many legendaries? He goes, oh, I brought the precursors at the start of the game. And like that's how I feel like a lot of people are at the moment. Like, yeah, I brought it at the start of the game, that's how I could afford it. I couldn't afford it now.
Why didn't I just do that? I could have had a million legendaries by now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, so a lot of people have mentioned, I should also probably say that in Reddit, some people suggested that the feature pack is coming out in the break, or there might be a feature pack coming out in the break in Living Story after this next Living Story. So everyone lives in hope. I don't think so, but everyone lives in hope that they'll release it then.
Yeah, I think when we were doing the old podcast, I'm not sure if you were still around then, I was really pumped for the feature patch. I was like, yeah, there's going to be precursor crafting in this feature patch, and it wasn't. I was like so deflated. So I'm kind of not getting my hopes up for the next one.
Now that you mention it, I remember around that time there was a data mine skin of a raven star that looked like a legendary, and it had like a raven sitting on the staff. So I wonder if they did plan and then they thought, oh no, it needed some more shining, passing, wax on, wax off. Yeah.
I'd rather they released it polished and ready to go than half baked, because I think that would annoy people more than the system at the moment if it was, you know, just a half baked system.
Yeah.
I'm confident they'll do it eventually. I hope so.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
And the thing that makes me feel good is that they know it is something that bothers a lot of people, and they kind of missed this massively article. It was super popular. They must know it is something that bothers a lot of people. And I honestly think that the people at Arena are good people and they're trying their best. And, you know, just because they don't get it when we want it, it's disheartening. But I think they truly want what's best for the game. Yeah.
So just to wrap up this conversation, then one last comment. Luke Balls in the chat has said, "How does precursor crafting solve everything? If it's a scavenger hunt, it'll be on dull feet in a day, and everyone will get one quickly. If it's a grind, you'll moan about the grind." I partly agree with that, but I think the way they intend to do it is it would require a certain amount of personal skill. It wouldn't just be go here, grab this, go that. I don't think it's something Dulphy can completely guide you through, or anyone. I think they could tell you what you need to do, but I think potentially actually doing it, the actual skill involved, would be down to you.
I think that's where time gating also comes in, combined with maybe harder dungeons, or to using tokens or things like that. Time gating is really good in my opinion, because it's if you log in daily, and you want to reward people who are consistently with the game over a long period of time. There's nothing wrong with rewarding people who log in every day compared to people who log in every day for 1 month, every 3 months, that sort of thing. There's nothing wrong with doing that. And time gating is really cool, like saying, this legendary takes like a month in total. You have to be playing every day for a month. This is how dedicated I am. And hold it up as a testament. There's nothing wrong with that. But you're right. I think it's really hard. It's really hard, and
it's probably why it's been delayed so long.
Yes.
They've obviously had these internal discussions. Anyway, go on.
Yes. No, it's just a funny comment. Someone, Priest Tully says, time gating plus a 4-hour-long jumping puzzle. If you fall, you have to restart. He is a troll.
So shall we move on then? I think we talked about this enough.
Yep.
Do you wanna go?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. I look at the note. I'm like, I'm meant to be saying this. And meanwhile, you're over there like, is she gonna say something? This is, I know a lot of people in this time. I don't know if, I know this is a PvE podcast, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you who are watching now are PvEers, just simply because of how much enthusiasm you showed for our precursor talk. But there is just a PvP thing I want to bring up. There's a shoutcaster called Jabro and his channel, and I'll just send a link to his channel in a minute. I'm a slow with links. But I'm not into PvP. I don't understand PvP. I glaze over with PvP. But he shoutcasted the weekly ESL tournament, and I understood what was going on, and it was really interesting, and I really enjoyed it. And I'd really suggest you guys check out his channel. I'm going to put the link in sometime. Is it going to let me? I don't even know if the Twitch channel is going to let me. It will be in the notes.
Yes, please. I'll link it now. And it will be in the show notes if you're not watching this live.
Hello, guys, and welcome.
Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, so that link is to his channel, and he does some great PvP shoutcasting, and you can understand, even if you don't do PvP, you understand what he's doing. And it's really good. He's just really professional, and he actually does it with another guy. I forgot the name of. He does it with another guy who's also very good at shoutcasting, and both of them together are really great. So I definitely suggest checking it out. If you don't like PvP, just give it a chance, because I don't like PvP, and I understood it, so it's worth something.
Definitely.
Yes, yeah. And Jabro's a friend of mine, and I do a podcast with him on the SOEC. I'm not going to advertise anything else, but but he's a friend. He's a really great guy, so definitely support him. So that kind of goes on. We're actually running out of time, aren't we?
We are. We've talked so much already.
Wow. I didn't think we'd make it this far. No. We did.
I think I'll go over the infographic quickly then, because there are some things I do want to point out. So on the 5th of August on Reddit, there was a survey put out, a Guild Wars 2 survey asking how long have you been playing Guild Wars, favourite profession, all that kind of thing. And I thought some of the results were quite interesting. I think, did we have one of these last year as well? I can't quite remember. I'm sure I've seen one like this before. I don't know.
I remember what I had for breakfast.
Talking like this. So just some interesting things. I'll post this in the Twitch chat, and of course, all the links and everything we talk about is available in the show notes as well on the guildmag.com website. So how long have you been playing Guild Wars 2 was the first question it asked, and actually 65% said since launch. So even from it launched nearly 2 years ago now, we've still got a large portion of that player base still playing, and bearing in mind, this isn't everyone that's still playing, it's just the people that browse Reddit. So I think that's, quite encouraging.
Yeah, it is. It's like the hardcore people are sticking with it,
Yeah. So your character's race. This one made me a bit sad, because some of you may know, others don't. I am a Char fanatic. It is my main, and according to this, Char is the least played race with only 53% of people.
My account is a testament to that. I have like 3 Azura, 1 Sylvari. I did have 2 Sylvari, and then like 5 billion humans, and 2 Norn, or 1 Norn, and 1 Char as well.
How can you just not love the Char? Like, I genuinely thought before the game was released, do you remember when ArenaNet posted that video about they were going around the ArenaNet offices and everyone was saying what combination they'd play, and half the people were like, I'll be a Char because they're badass, and I was like, everyone's just gonna be a Char and it's not gonna be fun. And I get in game and there's nobody in my starting area.
I have to say though, it makes the Char very stand out a lot when you do see them.
It does. I don't see that many Char with legendaries. I see a couple. I'm one of them.
I see one every day. That's me.
But yeah, so humans are the most played at 80%. That was always going to happen, really. I tend to think it's because people are boring and they just play human. That's my view on it. Anyway.
I think it's because a lot of people play it for RP, not RP, like subtle RP. You know,
ERP.
like I want. You want to play yourself in a fantasy setting. You want to put yourself in there, and you're not a Char. You don't have fur. You don't have a tail. So yeah, I understand it.
So moving on to professions, elementalists the most popular. Engineers least popular. Elementalists, that was quite surprising to me as well, because I know. Again, going back to pre-launch, a lot of people were saying, "I want to be a guardian," and I think it's third most popular according to this.
Guardian, my husband's a guardian, and a lot of people I know are guardians.
Yeah, Chardian. Anyway, Capital City used your hub. I'm guessing LA being destroyed, this would have been a lot higher. At the moment, 64%. I actually use, since it was destroyed, I've moved to Ratasum on my Char, and I just kind of hang around there now. How about you? Where do you go?
I'm a mix between Divinity's Reach and Lion's Arch. It's iffy on each one. I just like how close everything is in Divinity's Reach, but the thing is, Radisum is so much better, and I don't know why I don't go there, but it's really good, you know. Radisum, everything is in this one level, so I should be going to Radisum, but basically it's Lion's Arch.
Which zones do you consider your favourite? This was interesting. I don't think...
that was interesting.
I can't actually see a clear winner. I might be wrong.
Queensdale.
Is it?
Look at Queensdale.
Oh, okay. My eyes are just gone then.
It's the farming areas that have the highest percentage.
Yeah, looking at it now. Yeah. My favourites are actually all around the Char. Not because it's Char, just because I really like... I don't know, I like all the Kralkatoriki crystally stuff around there.
Is your favourite colour yellow?
I don't know. I don't even know what my favourite colour is anymore. It used to be orange, so that's kind of, I guess.
Oh yeah, that's kind of it. Yeah.
How about...
I can't stand Fireheart. Oh, sorry, I was looking at Fireheart. I can't stand Ascalon too much. It's just so yellow, and like it's nothing. The areas are well designed, but they're really like yellow and that kind of. But they're good areas.
You see,
Sorry.
I was just gonna say I feel the same way about ore. I can't stand ore just because it's all dark and Zaitani. I'm just every time I go, I'm just like, oh, more risen, go away.
Yeah, it's all the same. Someone just said in our chat, we didn't see it, but Top Dry is the most popular with 25.5, and Queensdale is only 21.6.
Oh, it is interesting. It is a nice zone. I do like it.
It is. Beautiful zone. It is. I understand why it's people's favorites, because it is just something different, something beautiful. But for me, I think my heart will always be in Timberline Falls.
So character from the Living World team is your favourite. Timey, pretty much a clear winner on that.
Holy moly!
I know.
42.7% for
Um,
Timey.
apparently, no one likes Brahm at 7%. I think it's his hair. For me, it's his hair. It's just it's too much to handle.
I don't know. I think this might be a reflection on society loving like the little cute girly underdog, and the gruff guy with mummy issues doesn't get very much love. But I understand it, you know. I'm surprised Rox didn't get lower. Rox has been growing on me this patch. Her design.
It's the eyes. We
Sorry.
said it when she came out. It's
anime.
Yeah.
I feel like her eyes might have been toned down a little bit, and she looks, I don't know, but yeah, I kind of agree with how this is kind of close to my favorites. Casmie annoys me only because she's like she's so much better now, but before she was such a like you know, I'm just a blonde haired girl with lots of money, you know, that she had that attitude, even though at Southland Cove she had a very strict kind of demeanor with Farron, like, you know, she didn't have time for him, and then all of a sudden she became like, oh Midoriya, I love you, I'm the dumb one of this duo, like she became very much like that. But she's actually like got character when, you know, when Majari got hurt, and the way she is now, she's got, now that I say it, I like all the characters.
Yeah, I do like them all. So I mean, there's so much more I could go through, but I think we're pretty much running out of time now. Is there anything else you'd like to bring up from that, or anything else before we...
No, I think the infographic is, did we link the infographic?
Yeah. So,
yeah, I think that's really cool.
Definitely check it out if you haven't.
And just in general, sorry, go on.
No, I'm just nodding away. Go ahead.
Okay, like it kind of went glitching. I'm like, is he talking? Is he not talking? I just wanted to say to everyone in the chat who turned up, thank you so much. This is great. And if you're listening to us afterwards, please feel free to leave comments wherever you can. You can contact us at our Twitter as well. Anywhere you want to leave comments, we'll see.
Yeah.
But thank you for turning up to our stream. It is fantastic to get the interaction with everyone.
We get a buzz off it, definitely, and I hope you guys do too.
Yeah. We after this podcast goes so well, like last week, we just kind of like a few days later we were like, oh my god, it went so well, this is fantastic. So yes, thank you for making our days, weeks, months, years.
So yeah, that's probably about it for this week's episode then. Once again, thanks to everyone for watching. Don't forget, if you are watching this, the recorded version, that we are live every Thursday at 10 AM GMT on twitch.tv/GuildMag. All our social media is of course on your screen right now. If you're listening to the audio version of this, you can tweet us at GuildMag, facebook.com/GuildMag, youtube.com/GuildMag, or guildmag.com. Any of those will do.
I like how your hand looks like a beaching whale.
And so yeah, that's it for this week. Don't forget to join us next week, where we will be discussing the Dragon's Reach Part 2 when it comes out, and anything else that crops up. So yeah, see you in a week's time, everyone. Bye.